We definitely started off the week on a very loud note. Some nice rallies earlier on in the day yesterday. And then, of course, late in the day, we got some news that the market did not like, and we saw some selling. ADA price retracing from about that 65.50 level down into the 62-cent range. We had some buying again overnight, some selling that took place. And now it's a big question of, will they, won't they? And we're kind of, again, stirring up a very volatile week. We have a lot of activity taking place, a lot of volume occurring, and I want to talk about that with you guys. But while this news is going on, there is something that took place that I think a lot of people missed, and we're going to discuss that as well. So again, if you guys are new or haven't already, show your support for the channel down below. It's been growing like crazy, and it's all because of you guys. Now, first of all, I'll say that I'm testing some different settings on my mic. Let me know if it sounds better today than it did yesterday. It's been an absolute nightmare trying to get this fixed for you guys, so hopefully this sounds good. But we're just seeing that chop, that ups and downs, and really, what happened yesterday was we had a little bit more uncertainty about what comes next that was thrust into the crypto market. First of all, I have to say that we've seen a lot of volume over the last 24 hours, $130 billion in daily trading volume. ADA at about $720 million in daily trading volume, still looking good at about $22 billion market cap, still cemented within the top 10. I've seen some people talk about it being on the verge of dropping out. It's not even close. And what I will say here as well is, again, I don't count stables in this calculation, so it's currently sitting at number 8. Now, there are questions about what comes next. We are seeing potential escalations abroad. Donald Trump has actually warned all Iranians to immediately evacuate Tehran. China has ordered its citizens to evacuate Tel Aviv. So there are now these really heightened tensions abroad, and heightened tensions bring uncertainty, and the markets do not like uncertainty. And unfortunately, this was what was thrust into the market late yesterday, right before our candle closes. So we ended up having a red day in terms of ADA and most assets in the crypto market. So that sucks. That is not what you want to see. Now, what I will say here is, one, could be seeing a lot of posturing going on, a lot of empty threats. I'm not trying to downplay what's going on overseas, but just know that, escalations obviously could bring even further uncertainty to the markets. You could see some more red, some more retail reactions to this. What we did get yesterday was, in fact, some liquidations across the crypto space. In fact, there was about $320 million worth of liquidations. A big majority of that on the long side. It was about 66-70% on that side. And what I will say here is, in terms of ADA, we're still seeing that big presence of short interest. There's about a 7% imbalance on the short side right now. And it's not surprising. This is tended to be where shorts take advantage of this market uncertainty. Although what I will say is that, just as we were talking about back here, sure feeling a lot like a bear trap. And I will say that the buying from certain entities is looking like exactly that. In fact, yesterday, despite all the uncertainty, despite all the negative news and things going on overseas, institutional money bought $412 million worth of BTC. All right. So this is one of the highest days we've seen. I think second highest day we've seen in the last week. It's one of the highest, actually the second highest day here in June. So they're just continuing to smash the buy button even while there is this uncertainty. And I think retail is getting played just a little bit. Not saying they're manipulating things. Obviously, the news is causing some of this manipulation to take place. But even on the Ethereum side, back in the accumulation phase here, BlackRock just continues to hammer the green, the buy button, right? So we're going to have to watch and wait and see how things play out here. What I will say is that, again, we were starting to drop off in terms of BTC dominance. We kind of surged back up to our trend. So the trend is our friend here right now. That's what we're following very closely. If you guys haven't noticed, anytime there's like a little bout of uncertainty that's kind of thrust back into the market, we kind of return back to this trend, and we kind of hug it until we get one of those moments where there's enough certainty in the market to see alts run again. Now, what I will say is, if nothing happens in the next 2 days, we're probably going to see the markets rebound. It's not a surprising thing. And it wouldn't surprise me if we still see some of those shorts liquidated along the way. What I will say is, in terms of ADA and many others, we have flipped back to the bearish side on the daily stochastic RSI. It's just kind of bouncing around right here, looking for that pivot moment. So the biggest thing I will say is, me personally, I'm not playing any games. I'm just sitting, watching, waiting. Today I'm going and doing some golfing, actually. I'm just going to try to wait this out. I'm not going to be watching the charts. I'm sure my alerts will be going off like crazy as we again chop and see high volume. But I hope that for everybody's sake, for the sake of people abroad, for the sake of U.S. citizens, for the sake of the markets, that there are not any escalations. We don't need that. War is shit. Doesn't need to be happening. They all need to find a diplomatic solution, like we were talking about yesterday. Unfortunately, that doesn't always go that way. So that's kind of where we're at. We'll see how things play out. We obviously still have a couple things this week that could, in fact, change the course of the markets. Could have good news, potential from the Fed to lower rates. So we'll see. I'm not going to bank on that, right? I'm not banking on anything right now. There's just so much PTSD in the market that we're still dealing with. People are just getting so uncertain for things that they should not be uncertain about. And it is what it is. I don't control the markets. So I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts on this. I appreciate it as always. Let me know what you think this week is going to look like. But have a great day. Show your love. Catch you guys in the next one. Take care.